Hey guys, it's me again, Sharper. I've got another replay watched for you guys. This is like 10 or 15 games later from the last game, I think. And yeah, from what you will hear after that, we can already make a little conclusion on which points you're weak and you can improve on them. So let's just jump right in and start off again with the team comps. Overall, I would say you've got a pretty decent lineup. Like, you have peak potential, you have decent team fighting, you have wave clear. Just one problem that could be there for you is the Azir wall or Cassio ult fucking your engage up. So you really need to care for this, that you set up the engage pretty good, that you get a pick, have a 5v4 and win that 5v4. Also, Janna is really good versus Lee, and I'm pretty sure that war control will be very important in such a game, and especially with such comp. Like when you pick comp, war control is even more important because you can only make picks if you have really good wards. As for the lanes, top is pretty a skill matchup. It can go either way, you know. But I'd say it's favored for Lissandra, especially with the combo of Rengo, because you can just fuck Cassio over. Jungle, pre-6, Lee Sin will fuck you, because you're Rengo, but post-6, you can dominate. And as I heard, you're a Rengo main, so let's see. And mid lane, it's also kind of a skill matchup, but heavily favored early for 6. Just because it's 6, he can push in easy, poke in easy, yeah. As for bottom lane, I favor your lane, because Janna's quite broken at the moment, and Draven can just destroy Caitlyn in straight up trades. And yeah. So, why don't we just jump in and check on your level 1 again. You decide to invade, which is okay with your comp. You got Draven 6, Lissandra, pretty damn good level 1. Janna is also okay, she can skill Tornado. They wait as well, you don't know about that. So you wait about until 1 minute, you ward the top side. Point is that ward is pretty useless. Let's say it like this. If you want to ward, well, okay, what you can see is if someone walks down, but man. If you want to check if he starts on red, you just drop it right there, and else you don't need it here. If you want to secure your top side, red ward here defensively. So let's go on. You decide to wait, and they do that as well, pretty mirrored, and then you drop this ward. This ward is completely useless, unless you expect him to come here, but that's also not really good. And it's especially useless because you ward here as well. So either you ward here or here, but not both. Because what you actually need is a ward here, to see where they start. That's the sense of the invade, that you get a grasp of, hey, where will the jungler start? What will happen on level 1? Like that you have no idea. After that you run into them, and you disengage, that's okay, I mean, you can't know what happens. And I want to touch on that sweeper again. You will go ahead and sweep the red bush afterwards, and the thing is, that's not worth it all, because you saw them get off, and if you would have put your wards correctly, like put one at Gromp blue, you would see, okay, Lee starts there, and you would see, okay, who helps him? If it's both of them, there's really no danger of us being invaded. And if you had a ward here at Gromp, you would see Lee do it without the bot lane, which means they either push or come deny you on golems. That's all what you could know with one ward. And that sweeper is useless right now, really useless. If you want to do a sweeper start, you need to like bait the wards and then get it to deny the vision, so deny their vision. But if you just do a random sweep and be like, maybe I get a ward, maybe not, that's just, yeah, that's RNG pure, and mostly it won't work. So I recommend getting a ward, getting more early wards down for having a save level 1 or having deep vision. And I mean, you pay for the bad warding afterwards because they deny you here on Crocs. So yeah, that's about level 1. Then let's fast forward a bit. You do red, do the Crocs, that's still okay. And after red, you decide to go mid. So here's the point about this. In general, Rengo is a pretty good level 2 ganker. I agree on that. But the decision to make this here is bad because at the same time your 6 pushes. Like, he's already do 2 creeps down, which means there's no way for you being able to gank mid because 6 will push out and you would have to jump like in tower range, nearly. And that wouldn't result in a kill, right? So you should have not even gone mid to not lose any time and just go on farming. In general, you can do that. But if you want to do that, you need to communicate this when you start buff. Hey Ziggs, try to make him push so I can level 2 gank mid. That's pretty much it. So for next minute there's not much to happen, but on minute 4 on the top gank from the enemies, there's some wrong decision making, I would say, from you, Lissandra. And I'm gonna show what happens. So Lee comes in, you will see him a bit late. And what you do now here, this little move is, you decide to move down towards Lee Sin because you're scared of the Cassiopeia Q. What you should have rather done is you should have kept walking straight line back and keep walking over your minion wave, because like that you could have denied, or probably denied, a Lee Sin Q and maybe saved a flash which you will blow after. We can know that for sure because he still has a ward, but overall like that you deny him a free Q already, right? If you go on the creeps over here, he needs to do something with ward or flash or whatever. So also a little decision making mistake, but it's still okay, you didn't die in the end. And here's something I don't like about what you guys do in bots. So what I like in general is you push up in the early game, and that's good because K can fuck you over else. But at the point where you reach level 3 and have all your 3 abilities, especially on Draven, like with the stand aside and the W, you should stop pushing, because that's the point where you start being stronger than Caitlyn Thresh. And you should be able to abuse that right then to get easier kills. Like that, yeah, you punish them a bit and push them under the tower and have a bit more lane control maybe, but also you cannot really kill them, or not kill them that easy, and you're way more vulnerable to ganks. I'm pretty sure you could dominate the lane easier if you just push until level 3, freeze, because she already used her potion and you're Janna Draven. Like, if there's an all-in, you should win it. So, always take that in mind, like, how do I play my lane matchup? What's the general idea of it being, yeah, Caitlyn fucks me until level 3 because huge range and so on. So we'll try to push her, deny her till then, and then we're stronger. Okay, we can freeze the lane, try to zone them, and so on. You should always think about that for the game, like the general setup of how your team comp works, but also how your own lane works. That much about that. Let's go over to mid lane. And see, that's what I meant, like you're getting ganked here because you're pushed up so far and it's way easier for them to gank you, right? By the way, nice gank top, nearly get him. But only nearly. So what I want to touch on more now is another decision making, I could say. which is in a minute. Ziggs will back in mid lane. Good satchel charge there. You will back here, and you have around 1.4k gold. And I don't like the way how you buy now. You first nearly buy it like I would love to, but then denied. So you buy a Flendish Codex, but then undo it and buy the Forbidden Idol. So here's the thing, what you should have done is you should have bought Flendish Codex, boots, 2 potions and a ward or 2 and a sweeper, because you will get a blue pretty soon, and thus far you don't need the Forbidden Idol. And with Flendish Codex you have AP as well, plus you have CDR, so you have more damage, and still got the mana regen from the blue. Plus you have War Control, which is way more important at the right now, because War Control saves you from lead, right? And if you get a pink ward and a normal ward, I don't know, I didn't do math how much you could get. You already got more control over the river or wherever it is. Plus you get a sweeper, which denies them control. So always think about how you buy and what you really need, because really that mana regen, you don't need it. Good about that. I want to touch on the first plot, which, well, I can just say it's played pretty perfectly. Jump in, root, ult, kill. Really good plays, so good communication, good setup, going like that. Another thing you should check for is, like, whenever you have time, that's especially for the mid lane and the jungler, whenever you have like time left, like maybe you pushed in the mid lane and can't do shit for the moment, or you kill the jungle camp and you're on your way in a lane to gank, try to check common spots for pink wards, which is this and this, because they had those pink wards for so long, and that granted them a very good vision control for pretty long. You should always try to deny vision, because vision is a key to win. Next on, I want to touch on a bot lane play which you guys did, which started off really good, but once more you greeted and overstayed. That's something you keep doing. So let's just jump right in. So Rengo comes down bottom, is level 6, you clear the ward, he's safe, coming in. You let them push down a bit, go back and be like passive to bait, which is good. And as soon as you see Thresh go further, you jump on him. Jump, root, kill, exhaust is up. So, let's stop right here. You come TPing in, you're 3 versus 2, respective 4 versus 2. Right at this moment, you should try to make a catch here, and if it doesn't work, you go down to Drake. But what you do is you try to do the catch. She flashed. Let's stop here. You're 4 versus 2. If you disengage now, Cassio won't TP in, or she will TP in but back off because they can't get anything, right? And also Azir is running down. But you keep going, end up dying, and lose a Drake. There's one there. There's two there. Oh, two there. Yeah, two there. And Drake. So if you didn't greed that much, you would have gotten the Drake possibly. And yeah, that's just because you greeded too much or overstayed. And yeah, it's a bit sad. But nobody's perfect, so yeah. Let's just fast forward again and jump into a bot lane gank of them later on, which you countered really nicely, nearly perfect. So you see Azir roaming down, counter his jump with the tornado, and then turn it, perfectly flash on the hook, and chase them down. So one mistake is Janna going a bit too ham here and end up dying, which isn't needed. And the other mistake is, well, it's not a mistake generally. It's still worth because you're Draven, but it wouldn't be needed. What you could have done is try to chase. Okay, we don't get them, back off. We still got one kill. They used summoners. They lose pressure. So you got one kill. They got nothing. Perfect. But you decide to make it a 3-4-2, which is okay, but it wasn't needed, right? So always keep that in mind. Don't greed too much. Like, you already got a lead out of it. Of course, if you can get more, but don't let them get anything as well. Mid lane you're pushing then, which is the right way to do it, but after that you greed as well, because you use your W, and that's the point where you cannot stay for too long anymore, because you have no escape except your flash. You use your E offensively, too offensively, you use your Q, and now you have nothing. And you die. So don't greed too much for stuff, or flash early enough before you die. At the same time, really good gank top. You abuse the fact that Cassio is really immobile, and I like that. So that's a good setup you got there. Later on you get in a 2v2 on bot lane, and I don't get exactly why that happens. So you pretty much just misplayed that, to be honest. You could have gotten kills, but number one is, like, the most important thing was that you didn't drop down your exhaust and got hooked in tower range. If you dropped down your exhaust on Kate and maybe didn't get hooked in tower range, you would have won. Or you just didn't respect their exhaust. I don't know. I can't read minds. Later on in the game then, you do a pretty damn good roam, gank, whatever, which is Lissandra roaming down mid and Janna also roaming down mid with a gank, Frango. He ends up dying, but you get bot lane a dive with a kill, mid lane a kill, and another kill in their jungle. And right now I want to pause. You've got 3 enemy guys, or 2 enemy guys dead, sorry, Azir actually survived. And one of you guys is down. Which means you have full control of the map currently, since Cassio's top, and Azir is backing and Lee is just mid. What you do now is you just walk back out. What you should have done is, I think you still have 2 wards in your side still. You should have warded deep now. You should always take opportunities like this to get some ward control, especially if it's deep ward control, because this is the best ward control. So you should have dropped a ward right in this one and then here. And after that cleared that, and if you got a sweeper, this one. This would have granted you full vision on the Drake for the moment, which spawns in a minute, and you could come back with 4 recharged wards on your side stone, which you could need. Always get deep vision, because deep vision is the best vision. I'm gonna touch on that later at the end of the video. Let's move on now. Another example of you overstaying is right here. You overstay and end up dying, which gives them pretty much free Drake, but Ziggs gets a good steal. To fair though, that's quite lucky as well to get a steal versus Lee, so it shouldn't happen from their side. But what shouldn't happen from your side is get picked out like that, so they get a Drake. And that's again, like, you come back and fight so split. You have 0 control, you flash in whilst your team is over here. Like, I'm sorry I messed up at the start with the pick and the steal that comes later, but if you wanna contest the Drake, most of the times, like 80% of the Drakes, you should come from one side together. There's some attempts where you do a split move to take them into the sandwich, but at this point you shouldn't have done it, because you had no control of vision and nothing. So you need to get the vision, and you can only get the vision as 5. So what you should have done is grouped up here where the 3 guys are and walk down, try to get vision and 5. But what you do is like be here 2 versus 4, die, give them a Drake. So that's a fault of communication or decision making. And yeah, that's what I talked about. So they get a Drake, which you steal, nice steal, but it's lucky. We're only 18 20 minutes in, and you see there's already points you can improve on. Some things just happen, like normal mistakes, but some things you do are just repeating each other. And those are the mistakes you need to try to, not do anymore. Also, here's a little mechanical mistake. You get ganked, which happens, but decide to hold on your flash. Right after the flay, you should have flashed the flay, either of them. Then you could have saved your blue. And around 20 minutes, that's the point of time where you will have like nearly no vision in the bot side. And Draven is your most fed member of the team. If he decides to push down bottom to get any pressure down, you need vision, because else he can't pressure. So what you need to do is you need to go like push out mid once and then get her up at 3 or 4 and start getting control again with sweepers and with wards, because this allows you then to pressure bot lane with Draven or pressure mid or whatever, but like that you can't pressure really, because you're always scared, oh shit, if I push out too much, oh, they will gank me. So at such times after a Drake or anything, you need to make a call to regain control, because control wins games, as mentioned multiple times before. And 20 minutes in, really, you should have a red trinket on top laner and a blue trinket on the AD carry. I'll also touch on this at the end of the video, when to swap trinkets and why. For a little example, this is the benefit of war control or vision control right here. This pick, and that's what you need with your comp. You get more, get a bit greedy again, but I think it was worth at the end. Well, okay, it was 2 for 3, so it's okay, but a bit greedy again. However, what happens here is you start overstaying again later on. So you get the tower. It should have backed after that creep wave. Or, after that tower. Like, you cannot stay here. You cannot stay here. You need the tower, do the tower, get the objective, and back off. But you overstay, end up giving a kill. I don't know if that happens again. I think it happens again on top lane in a minute, where you do a gank. Do you gank Kate? Yes. You push out, decide not to gank and do the tower, and then overstay again. Like, just do the tower, back off. Don't greed for the minion wave when you know they could be there. Later on, also in mid lane, you just seem to be not concentrated for those minutes, and you end up giving a kill by kill. First one is 6, second one is Janna, and third one is Draven, fourth one is Lysandra, who didn't cancel her TP. So you need to concentrate and not like tilt like that. Those are 4 or 5 free kills you just gave them up in 2 minutes. and it also results in another Drake, which is so damn free, and you know the value of Drakes. Good. We're 24 minutes in and it's still a pretty even game, but it could be already one-sided in your favor. Let's fast forward. There's not much happening right now. So, I think in a minute there's another point to touch on again. Okay, yeah, I remember. So you send Rengo bot, see Caitlyn just come down from top. And what happens here is miscommunication a bit. They know that you're in here because of the ward up here, just saying, this is possible. Like, this ward doesn't give vision on them because of the angle. However, you firstly outplay them with the flash and end up getting a kill. Yeah. Let's stop it again here. This is the point where you need to back off, because you don't have vision over other guys. And you knew Caitlyn was coming around from top, your Rengo just back and two of you guys aren't in position to help. So you should back off here, which you do first, but then somewhat miscommunication happens and Janna goes in. Gives up a kill, she gives up a kill. And right now, like when you see the TP, that's the point for you guys to disengage again, because you know it's 3v4 and your Rengo is far, far away. You'll end up getting 2-man ulted and die in a 3v4, get 2 kills down. Rengo gets shut down, which is okay, trades for another kill. It's a decent trade. But you lose a tower, so that trade overall was in their favor. And this is just miscommunication or not being on the same page. And you need to, learn being on the same page. Communicate better, have one call that counts. But I can also touch on this point at the end of the video in my conclusion. And I'm gonna fast forward again a bit, and yeah, here you see that they get another pick or two because of you being unconcentrated. Like getting caught, and yeah, after that they got 2 kills. You got 1 in return, but it's still in their favor, right? And with Drake coming out in the 4th, with Drake coming up soon, that's again worth for them. You always seem to be dying with 4 Drakes, which is bad. I mean, dying in general is bad, but 4 Drakes it's even worse. So I think there are 3 or 4 Drakes right now. And it's a pretty good decision you make here. Since they just backed from Drake, you can attempt to pick and get flashes. But at the same time you getting picked as well, or at least one of you. So always be on one page. That was a pretty good outplay here, by the way. After that, you nearly went for Nash. I'm happy you didn't go for it first, because you would have miserably died. However, you're using this opportunity to bait them in get 2 kills, and get a free Nash. That was really good play. What I want to touch on again, I think, here is you should never stand behind Nashor if it's not needed. Since the new patch and the new Nashor, if you stand behind him, you will get way more damage. You maybe see it like he shoots spikes behind him, and that does way more damage. So don't stand behind Nash unless you wanna like go over the wall and deny their jungler from smiting. Good Nash, you end up giving a kill or two, which was not needed, but like the 6, okay, but the Draven could have survived, but overall it's still worth. Another point to touch on right here is, again, like A, communication, and B, you're impatient. Your impatience gives you first a kill, but after that they get kills because you're only 2 and yeah, they're more. What this means is they get a kill, you get a kill, but it's worth for them at the moment because you have the Nashor and you want to be the ones to lead the game right now with that Nashor. And you have to wait again now because Rengo has to back, because Janna is dead. And that's just time you waste on the buff. So when you have Nashor, don't just rush alone and just wait 10 more seconds for your teammates and then set something up. In this case you should have in general went either 1-3-1 with Lissandra top and Draven bottom, or 1-4. Also here you're too impatient again, see? Which costs you a flash. And you end up not really doing much with your Baron buff besides that pick. And that's very important because now you get another turret. Good. And here again, that's a point where you should start to go back because 6 is so demo. You have no wave anymore besides that creep. You have you have a Rengo ult, but no Lissandra ult, and there's nothing you can do here really. And I know that Drake is up in 28. I don't know if you guys do. I don't know if you got the time, but if you would do, you should really have backed and set up the Drake because it would be their 5th Drake, and you need to deny that. So you end up going back. But it's quite too late now, technically, because Drake is up already. Okay, my apology, it was the 4th Drake. It was my bad. I messed it up with the next one, I think. So yeah, but you lost the Drake here because either because you didn't have the timer or because you made a miss decision. I can tell that really right here because I won't go back to check the timer if you had it. Let me show you some impatience again. Finally you will go dewarding, which is good. But you do it in the wrong way, which is not being together as 5 when you don't have full vision of the enemy team. Number 1 is Rengar going top and Draven going bottom to red. You see Cassio and leave for a moment, but now you won't see like the other team, which gets you caught up. So if you want to deward, make sure you can deward without getting caught, because that was something that's not needed. Yeah, sure, you get 1 kill, but is it worth? No, definitely not. So again, miscommunication, impatience. And from now on it goes pretty damn fast. Basically, you contest the Drake for the first time in a good way. And then play out your comp. So, for now, you know they're doing Drake. You got not perfect wards, but you have wards which spot them. And I talked about this before, there are few attempts where it's okay to split. This is one of them, and you have the perfect split up, basically. You could swap out Lissandra with Draven here, but I like the pairing. Draven, Rengo, Lissandra, Ziggs, Janna. Because Lissandra will lock all of them up, throw in her ult and her W. Ziggs can follow up with her with his ult. Insane AoE. At the same time, Rengo and Draven will fuck over Azir, which leads to him not being able to ult here because he has to save his ass. So let's see this. Lock down. Ziggs ult. Coming from this side. Getting the Drake. Getting kills. Chase down. There you go. Good Drake-a-thon. And now all you need to do is get Nashor. And after Nashor, you get top vision, like in their top jungle, and go towards the bot tower, top tower. I'm sorry, top jungle and top tower, and either get a free tower, or if it goes perfectly, you get someone going through the jungle, make one pick, and this one pick will lead into you being able to 5v4, dive, finish. You kind of do it. So, I really like that last 5 minutes of you playing. So, let's see. You go in the jungle. Ward with a trinket, which you shouldn't have anymore. Pushing out mid. And I think now you go in the jungle. Clear the trap. Go up there. Clear that ward. And now they think they're... You go up there. You kind of bait him in, Q him, and he's there. Now it's 5v4, free top tower, into dive, GG. So in those last 5 minutes, you played really damn good. You played like you should have already before. And I want to come to my conclusion, because there are some things we've seen multiple times now. You know, okay, I'm gonna touch on the trinkets first, because they disappoint me really badly. You see that you, at the end of the game, your top laner and the AD carry still have the yellow trinket. This should not happen anytime, because the yellow trinket is literally useless at this point of time. Your top laner, you should have a sweeper, and your AD carry should have a scrying orb. Let me say why. For the sweeper, it's pretty simple. A 1 minute ward will not be as worth as denying a 3 minute ward of the enemy at some point of time. This is why you get a sweeper, especially in your composition where you have very high pick potential. You want them to have as few vision as possible, so deny it. What do? You sweep or get pink wards. Also, you should really buy normal wards if you want to maintain vision control, because at some point that 1 minute ward is pretty useless. For the AD carry, You should have Scrying Orb just because you can get vision over range without having to ward in trades, for example, on bot lane or wherever. And also you don't have to face check Barons or Drakes if you know they could be attempting it, or yeah. So let me write it down, the timings for the red trinkets respective blue. Jungler should get it around level 6, the red one. Normally start with yellow. Support get red at Sightstone, which you should know that. Mid lane get it around minute 8. I touched on that on nearby. Top lane get it around minute 14, 13, 14, around that. And for the AD carry, it's around that point. And then you have to use them. And that's my next point, the warding. And for that I wanna open Summoner's Rift interactive map. Rift kit, that's what I look for. So we have here the Summoner's Rift. Let me just drag those away. And warding is a really important point. What you often do is I call those wards, you place the solo queue wards. And we need to work on better ward control in order to get a better gameplay. The wards you have normally are pretty normal. They are not bad, but there is a better way. So bot lane often wards greedy like this or maybe this, and this helps you as a lane. Don't get me wrong, you're safe, but that's all about it. Same counts for top lane or mid lane. It helps you as a lane, but that's it. So let me show you 3 ways of warding. First way is the defensive warding, which you only use if you are behind or if you have a worse team comp in early game. What you try to do then is obviously get defensive pink wards, which would be those, and just try to keep your lane warded. Go as deep as possible. For bot lane, maybe here, else here. Mid laner, either here or here. Same on this side, and top laner here, maybe here. That's defensive. Note the position of pink wards. Then the neutral warding is like when it's an even matchup, you know, you get pink wards here and wards normally here, lane wards obviously, maybe also this ward if you can get there to see Lee Sin sneak in through lane with Thrash Lantern. For the mid lane also, like if you cannot get that pink ward, normal ward it, else you can ward over here or over here, or if you want to be greedy, here. And for the top lane here. And now we come to the best warding you can get, which is the offensive deep warding. Note the position of pink wards again. The deep warding will be pink ward over at pink ward behind blue. Normal ward at blue, normal ward at race. And this is a vision that normally your jungler and support and maybe mid laner gets. And if you have those wards, like those 2 pink wards normally last pretty long, because no one checks them. And if you have those wards, you can get a ward here or here to be super sure where their jungle goes, because you will see him walk in the jungle and then you know, okay, he's top side, he can go either this way or he can go either this way to mid. So to be 100% sure, you can ward here, and if he doesn't walk through there, you know, okay, he's top. You can also ward here. If he doesn't walk through here, okay, he's mid. This needs pretty good communication and map awareness as well, just saying. And I touched on that at one point in the video earlier on, where you killed mid laners, or killed two guys, one of them had to back, and you walked down here from mid back, and just walked out without dropping wards. Always get the deep wards, because deep wards show where their jungler is, show where they're coming from, and this allows you to get picks if you have deep wards. Oh yeah, they're walking down, let's camp in that bush, sweep it, pick, bam, Dragon Frost. That's how you have to work. And also you can sweep wards down here, etc. As for the dewarding, same counts. You deward that jungle area, camp here, get a pick. So I've touched on the trinket, I've touched on the warding. Now I'm touching on decision making, communication, greed, overstay. You saw yourself greeting quite often. Like you would do a good play, get a kill, and think, okay, we can get another kill, and then oh shit, we fucked up. This is somewhat greed decision making, and you need to learn that you don't overstay your welcome. Rather take an objective than one more kill, because objectives are more worth than kills in general. And objectives snowball everyone on the map, and not just one guy. So the perfect thing to do is make a kill and get an objective out of it. But obviously that doesn't always work. So try to learn that and don't greed too much too often anymore, because you saw, like, you would have controlled the game super hard if you didn't give up so many kills, which result in drakes, which result in control for them, and so on. The last point to touch on is the communication. Obviously I can just guess that because I'm not in TeamSpeak with you guys, but it's pretty obvious that your communication is not on point. And I've heard that your AD carry can talk because of his family in the background. That's, well, it's not perfect, but we have to accept the fact, right? But for some points you need a guy that will have the last word. Like, if you have two ideas of doing away, you need to have someone to listen to, and his call counts. Because there were some points in the game where you weren't on one page, and then Janna goes in, dies. You guys are like backing out, and then oh, she goes in, we need to go in now, oh, she's that shit, now we die again as well. So you need to have one guy who will make the final call, and then everyone follows it. Note, that can fail sometimes, but you need to keep following, because that's a team effort. It's better to follow a bad call as a team and make the best out of it, than no one follows a perfect call because everyone thinks something else, right? So try to get one person who is the shot caller and makes decisions in the end. Like, you can shot call together as a team in general, yeah, everyone has an idea, we agree with that, but in that moment where it counts for a split second, if one guy calls it, follow him, and he has to word all the time. The best way to do it is with the jungler, but I don't know how talkative your jungler is. You can also do it in the support, but the best way is jungler or support. Yeah, I think that's it. That was a bit a longer video now, also a longer replay. I'm sorry if I use the same words sometimes, it's quite hard. If you have questions or feedback, give it to me as well. Say Chasme, you can also add me in TeamSpeak League of Legends if you want, and ask. Also, if you think I said something wrong, tell me, we can discuss that. I'm also just a human being, I can also do mistakes, you know. But overall I hope that helped, and learn from that replay, learn from the mistakes, and try to stop some patterns which you have. So yeah, thanks for watching and hear from you soon.